It's time for your guaranteed 4-set. That's right, everybody should be getting 4-set this week, but also everybody should start striving for a new Mythic Plus rating achievement. That's right, Blizzard added some mid-season changes to Mythic Plus achievements, some new mounts to be got and shit, so crazy stuff dropping this week. Let's go ahead and dive straight in. Here we go. Yeah, as I said before, the 4-piece should be available to everybody now with another Catalyst charge added to that. So get that thing done. Convert the 4-piece, by the way. Don't wait and save it for anything, because once you convert it, you will get the Catalyst Unbound achievement. And what that does is it essentially allows more Catalyst charges to drop for you from delves, PvP, dungeons, and raid content. So this won't be, you won't have to wait another couple weeks to get another charge. You're just going to start getting these constantly. So make sure you use that 4th charge if you haven't already to get that 4-set. You don't got to wait for that heroic piece of perfect gear to convert. Just convert something, get the 4-set, and then you'll be set for getting more going down the line. So, good one for that. Should be empowering to the player base. Also empowering to the player base, random nerfs happening. Some of these were unannounced. So for Mythic Lightbound Vanguard, we've seen a nerf to all of their health, 5% across the board for these boys. So if you're currently progressing on these guys, should be a little bit easier, 5% easier to be exact. So all of them have been nerfed in terms of health by 5%. Also, more nerfs going around. Myasara Caverns. We're going to talk a little bit about these because we're going to go through some DPS numbers here in a second, too, and current participation rates in some of these dungeons. Myasara Caverns currently the least run Mythic Plus dungeon. And it's the hardest one, actually. So Blizzard actually turned around and nerfed some of these mobs. So we'll check some of this out. For Skyreach, we also saw some changes here. Energize now has an initial tick when applied to Araknath. We also see Solar Flare no longer ignores line of sight, and Cast Down is no longer a private aura. For Myasara Caverns, the changes are a bit bigger here. We see Keen Headhunter's health has been nerfed by 10%, and the Frenzied Berserker's health has also been nerfed by 13%. So some health nerfs here happening. So people, I don't know, Blizzard trying to get more people into Myasara Caverns to be able to time this thing. Currently has our highest fail rate, I believe, as well. So changes continue to happen, nerfs continue to happen. They're trying to pump up the numbers on this dungeon, but people are just not enjoying this one at all. Another big change here, a 1% gain will be happening every week going forward, guys. This is interesting. I didn't see this coming. I don't know what Blizzard had previously announced this or not, but we are going to see a 1% damage buff added to our weekly raid. So every week going forward, we will see a 1% damage and healing buff added to the current raid spec. So whatever you're doing and whichever of the 3 raids you're progressing on or doing, you will see a 1% buff to both damage and healing output up to 15%. So for the next 15 weeks, every week, this buff will get another 1% uptick on it. Now, one small thing about this buff, one nice thing I will say is it's not tied to reputation, not tied to completing a quest. There's nothing to do for this thing. It's just going to be a passive buff that continues to build up for 15 weeks. So it doesn't matter if you've stopped playing for a little bit. There's no catch-up mechanic required. Just walk into the dungeon. Now, you don't necessarily just walk in, though. There is one thing about this. You got to talk to the NPC at the front of the dungeon to get the buff. So there's 3 different NPCs for the 3 different raids. You're going to talk to that one NPC in the raid and get the buff. Now, I don't know why Blizzard decided to do this. I think this should just be a passive thing where, somebody shows up to the dungeon and gets the buff, because this thing's going to be annoying as fuck. If you're inviting people to the raid, summoning them into the middle of the raid, and they got to go to the back to the fucking entrance to get the damn buff. I don't know why they're deciding to make an NPC something you have to talk to get this thing. And then, of course, there's always going to be the guys who like, oh, shit, my damage sucks. Well, oh, I forgot to get the buff. Forgot to pick up the 15% buff, so you're doing 15% less damage than everybody else in the raid. So you're going to have to speak to these guys to get this buff, beginning at Void Spire, Dream Rift, or March on Quel'Danas. As I said before, 3 different NPCs. Not sure why they decided to go this route with it. It should just be automatic when you walk in, but yeah, it's going to be a thing and a little bit of an annoyance for summoning people. Stop being lazy, stop summoning them. The truth is, Tech Tim, and I will say, you're kind of right about that. For these 3 raids in particular, are the 3 easiest raids to ever get to. Like for early expand, honestly, there is no reason why these people should not just be able to walk into these raids. You literally just go into the main city and take the damn portal to them, and you'll be right there. It takes literally no time. It is so easy to get to, I agree, but there's always these lazy-ass fuckers, man. Or maybe you're mid-raid and you just want to get somebody there, but you're not going to be able to do that. You got to go freaking pick up this buff, so just be aware of that, guys, going forward. That 1%, by the way, started this week, so we already have a 1% buff we can pick up. Now, new achievements and rewards coming to Mythic Plus. This is probably the biggest news of the day. This is a big change here. Blizzard noticing people progressing pretty quickly through the season. Right now, the current like high-end achievement for Mythic Plus is the 3K IO. Right, 3K IO is your big boy achievement. You get the mount and everything else. Well, Blizzard's adding 2 more on top of that, and these will change Mythic Plus forever going forward. So we're getting Keystone Myth and Umbral Champion. For Keystone Myth, you will have to reach 3,400 Mythic Plus rating, and this will earn you the Time Slot Saddle. Once per warband per season. So yeah, all of your tunes across all of your accounts, you can only get this thing one time. This item can be brought to Lindormi in Silvermoon or in the Time Waste, where it can be exchanged for a mount of your choice from a curated selection. This includes Keystone Master and Keystone Legend mounts from previous seasons. So if you missed a season, you can go back and get one of those mounts, as well as some new mounts being added to the pool. This is really cool. Hopefully they add that freaking crazy Chinese mount, the Venthyr one that we saw not too long ago. That would be a great one. The Blizzard says we want to give dedicated Mythic Plus players something to continue that continues to feel rewarding over time, while also creating a path to revisit some older rewards you may have missed out on along the way. For Keystone Myth this season, it'll launch at 3,400 rating, but Blizzard's saying here that could change based on the seasons. So they do not expect that threshold to remain fixed forever. Mythic Plus evolves from season to season, and we want this achievement to continue to represent a similar level of difficulty and prestige each time. Because of that, we will adjust the rating requirement in future seasons. So that's Keystone Myth. Now, what is the ultimate Uber Giga Chat achievement going to be from going on from here on out? It's called the Umbral Champion. This thing is essentially like a gladiator achievement for Mythic Plus. So with a close of the Midnight Season 1, players in the top 1% of Mythic Plus ratings will qualify for this new achievement, the Umbral Champion, and they will be rewarded with an exclusive mount. Now I'm expecting, as I said before, like a gladiator-esque mount. This is going to be some kind of badass. Gladiator mounts are always the freaking coolest mounts in the game. I always think those things are cool. So this is going to be given to those top 1%ers. They are going to be given some kind of exclusive mount. Now, we haven't seen it yet. We don't know what it's going to be. But Sweet Lords Rejoice. Yeah, this is a really cool one. I think this is a great addition to the game, giving some putting some respect on these Mythic Plusers' names, right? Because there's some really good runners out there who do this shit all the time. Being a top 1%er at the end of the season, I think you do deserve some kind of cool reward. So, yeah, Sweat. I said Sweet, my bad. Yeah, Sweat. Yeah, this is definitely a Sweat Lords achievement. So this will be cool going forward. Keystone Myth is already going to be available this season, so you can already start working towards that 3,400. If you already reached 3K, start pushing harder. And Umbral Champion as well will be available at the end of the season for the first time this season. We'll see what those mounts are. Of course, I'll report on them when they finally do get released. Now, looking at the charts, boys, it's time to check out. Another week has passed. Let's check out the current rankings in terms of boss damage, overall raid damage. We're also going to look at current meta Mythic Plus runs and what people are doing in Mythic Plus. So right now, let's see what's going on here. Currently, we see Devour, Demon Hunter, Survival Hunter, Demonology Warlock, and actually one of the biggest movers that we'll see here in a second for boss damage, Assassination Rogue. Ass Rogue doing really good. So let's check this one out here. First of all, Devour, Demon Hunter sitting at the very top. They've been at the top for overall damage for a little while now. Demonology Warlock just behind them. Marksmanship Hunter and Survival Hunter. Hunters are eating well, unless you're a lover of bestiality, because Beast Mastery Hunters are sitting at the bottom right now. But overall, Survival and Marksmanship doing really good. We see Fire Mage just behind them in the 5 slot here. Shadow Priest, Devastation Evoker, and Augmentation Evoker having a Scaly Boy party just below them. So Invokers are doing great this season. We'll see in single target damage, they're also having a great time. Destro Warlock doing really good. Frost Mage, Balance Druid, and then Retribution Paladin sitting right there in the middle, because we all know all Ret Pallies are mid. There's so damn many of them at this point. It's ridiculous. Okay, looking at the bottom here, as I mentioned before already, Bestiality Hunter is sitting there at the bottom. Feral Druid just above them. Frost DK, and then the Rogues. I mean, I don't know what to say. Somebody at Blizzard HQ had some fucking rogue he used to play Classic WoW, and he was just getting pickpocketed all the time or something, because rogues are getting hated on right now. Now, I will say Assassination Rogue for single target damage, fucking doing great. They got buffed. I don't know what it is this last week, but they improved a lot. But Overall damage, there's just like no AoE output or something. Yeah, that's sad for, yeah, so like all 3 specs right now, just not doing great overall damage. Enhancement Shaman just above them, Affliction Warlock, Arcane Mage, Elemental Shaman, Furry Warriors, and then Havoc Demon Hunters. I just listed the names, by the way, from the bottom up, so that moved us back up to the mid here. Arms Warrior and Windwalker Monk there in the middle. So that's your overall damage. Now let's look specifically at damage to bosses, right? What you care about when you're doing that raid damage. And right now we see Augmentation Evoker being a pumper, or I should say enabling pumpers, right? Because that's what Augmentation Evoker does. He essentially sits there and strokes the entire raid while everyone's pumping. It just makes them pump that much harder. So that's great for any Augies out there. You guys are living well, doing well, and you're having a good time, especially on single target damage. Unholy DK just behind them. Ass Rogue in 3rd spot. I just said it, right? Rogues aren't doing well, but Assassination on single target, having a great time. Marksmanship Hunter just behind them. Shadow Priest, Fire Mage, I should say Frost Mage, Demonology Warlock, Feral Druid, Destro Warlock, and then Retribution Paladin. Sitting just above mid is Arms Warrior. So that's your current top kind of half there. Now working from the bottom up, we see at the very bottom here, Fury Warrior, I should say Furry Warriors, Enhancement Shaman, Arcane Mage, Outlaw Rogue, Affliction Warlock, Bestiality Hunter, Survival Hunter, Balanced Druid, Devastation Evoker, Havoc Demon Hunter, Sub-Titty Rogues, Windwalker Monk, Fire Mage, Frost DK, Elemental Shaman. Rounding up your bottom boys there. We also see Devour, Demon Hunter, Arms Warrior there in the middle. So that's where everyone currently stands. Not much movement compared to last week, but Assassination Rogue rising up the charts here a little bit on single targets. So that's good to see for them. At least Rogues have something to hang on to, because it's just not a good time right now. Furry Warrior. Yeah, that's what I said. Furry Warriors. Yeah. Sam, these nuns. Yeah, look, it is what it is. These changes will continue to go into effect. We're seeing more class changes happening. And then 12.0.5, we'll see some more. And that's actually next reset, guys. Believe it or not. Patch 10, 12.0.5 hitting on the next reset. So there'll be more class changes. And we'll look at these charts when that goes into effect. But overall, looking at the current meta for Mythic Plus, we were just talking about rating. Here's Mythic Plus. Current meta hasn't changed. We see right now Brewmaster Monk being the best tank in the game. Augmentation Evoker, Unholy DK, the best healer in the game, Resto Druid, by far and away the one used the most. And then Devour Demon Hunter being brought as your fifth member there. But also some Demonology Warlock showing up there in the top keys. So that's your current meta right now. As I mentioned before, Myasara Caverns, currently the most failed and least run dungeon. The community always finds that one dungeon that's just a little bit harder, a little bit tougher to finish out. Well, we just saw some nerfs to this one. We'll see how it adjusts. But Myasara Caverns currently seen as the hardest dungeon. Working from the top back, we see the favorite dungeon of the people. Windrunner Spire currently is the best one, followed by Nexus Point Xanax, Pit of Sauron, Algathar Academy, Skyreach, Magister's Terrace, and then Seat of the Triumvirate. Those are, working back, and then, of course, the bottom Myasara Caverns. So, looking right now, overall, people are mostly running plus 10s. That's the most run key in the game, followed by plus 12s and plus 11s in reverse order there. So, those are currently where people are sitting right now. But, hey, I think we might see a shift up as people try to get that 3,400 rating we just talked about. Overall, there's a drop-off in the number of people doing, or the number of dungeon runs completed. So about 600,000 less between week 2 and 3. That's pretty normal. People are dropping off a little bit as we continue on through the season. But like I said, we might see more pickup here as people try to get the new achievements. So for now, we'll look at all this shit later on as this stuff gets updated. Excited to see what these new achievement mounts are going to be, of course. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. But for today, that is all in terms of news.